Hello, everyone. Welcome to the City of Pittsburgh's first process improvement pilot. For the first time ever during this administration, we're really happy to ask the question of our city employees, how can we do better? And to give them the support and the resources to empower them to make decisions in terms of transforming essential operations. And with that, we were lucky enough to secure a grant to facilitate this process. And today we'll be able to see the fruit of that question through 4 projects piloted across 3 departments, City Parks, Public Works, and Innovation and Performance. So without further ado, we'll kick off with the first pilot, which is Public Works.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lee Haller, and I'm the Deputy Director of Public Works. I want to introduce my team members. So the Public Works team is comprised of myself, Marcel Newman, and Matthew Jacob from Public Works, and Ivy Zhu from Innovation and Performance. So our project overview, we're looking at ways that we can increase the efficiency of our street litter can collection citywide. But for this particular project, we scoped it down to just our 5th division and looked at street litter can operations. And our goal is to both free up resources that can be used for other high priority tasks. So we're looking to reduce the time that we spend on litter can collections by 33%. And we're also looking at ways that we can make the service more consistent to residents. So first off, I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the things that we've been doing since the beginning of the project. So our first big task was to actually install sonar sensors on 90 of our street litter cans located around the 5th division. And then to train our 5th division staff, including our foreman and our supervisor, in how to use those sensors to carry out their daily tasks. In terms of in-progress tasks, we're looking at ways that we can establish standard location criteria for our litter cans to ensure that they're consistently utilized, and developing litter can specifications to ensure that we have consistent cans located across the city. And we'll talk a little bit about both of those in a minute. So first of all, want to give you some idea of what data the sensors provide to us. So this is an overview map that shows the location of all of our litter cans in the 5th division. The white bubbles show that the cans do not need to be emptied. The red bubbles show that cans either are past due or are coming due shortly to be emptied. So you can see this information gives our management a very bird's eye level view of where problem spots are so that they can target resources. The next thing that the sensors do is provide daily guidance for our staff. So our foremen have a way to quickly log into the system, say, I want to see every can that needs to be emptied in the next 2 days using a filter, and then print out a list that they can hand to their staff that gives them clear direction as to where they need to go to empty which cans. So we want to talk a little bit about some of the success metrics that we were hoping to see from the litter collections. And what we should be seeing as a result of the sensors and directing our staff is that the collections per month should be going down and that the percentage collections should be going up. As you can see, in January we had 242 collections. In February we had 252 collections. In January our percentage full at the time of empty was 73%, and the percentage full at the time of completion or time of empty in February was 65%. So obviously this is the opposite of what we would like to see. Which indicates that we have some change management issues with our 5th division staff, which I'll explain a little bit more later. But our feeling is that this is both some change management concerns that the staff have about self-reporting the hours that they're spending, and they're nervous about reporting less than a full day doing litter can collections. And also some of it's on our managers, where we feel like they are probably not equipped to give the employees a list of other tasks to do as soon as they've completed the litter collections, because they've never had to do that in the past. So again, it's change management at both levels, management and the employees. So the other thing that the sensors give us is a lot better data about each individual can. So this is a graph that shows the litter can utilization rates. So each bar represents the number of cans by the fill rate. So for example, there are 17 cans that fill up in less than 7 days. There are a full third of our cans, or 30 of the 90 cans, that fill up less than once every 30 days. So if you take just that very small microcosm of the city where we have 2,000 plus litter cans around the city, the 5th Division, we have 90 censored. A third of them aren't in locations where they're used regularly. Gives you an indication that we can do better with where we place litter cans. The next thing I want to talk a little bit about is what we've seen in terms of improved responsiveness. This is an example of one of our cans when we first implemented the sensors. This is in November. And it shows that our crews were not aware that the can was empty, or was not aware that the can was full, and this was because they didn't have real-time data on which cans needed to be emptied. So this can sat full for approximately 10 days. And actually, this was by far not the worst example that we had. We had one can that was full for over a month, primarily because our crews were running fixed routes. If they got pulled off to do other things, they just didn't get to the last cans on the route. So now, with the sensors, they're getting targeted to cans that need to be emptied when they need to be emptied. So we're seeing an improved responsiveness on the part of our crews. So I want to talk a little bit about next steps. Obviously, based on some of the things that I said, we do have some change management issues that we need to work through. So we are working with our 5th Division staff, including their management, to ensure that they closely follow the daily plans. If they're given a list of 8 cans that they need to empty, the expectation is they're emptying only those 8 cans and nothing else, because that's the only way that we're going to see cost savings where we can apply those hours to other tasks. We're going to be looking for our staff to document how their reduced litter hours are being used for other high priority tasks like closing out open 311s, working on pothole patching, and other tasks like that. We're also looking to extend the pilot to the end of April to evaluate a larger sample set of data. Our hope is that we'll see the same opportunity for reduced time during the warmer months as well, when litter cans are obviously going to be more used than they are in the winter. And then last but not least, we want to finalize can location standards and location criteria. So in conclusion, I think one of the things that our team has seen is that the implementation of sensors does have promise just because of the data. Our crews have been very willing to use the data. In some respects, they definitely log in, they give the list to the crews. So I think the management is bought in. But we need to now see the crews that are out on a daily basis using and following the guidance. Obviously, change management issues, if this is something we're seeing in one division, as we roll this out to other divisions across the city, this will be an issue that we need to tackle. And last but not least, Public Works or others will need to provide some dedicated support and resources to make sure that this project goes smoothly if we do decide to continue it.
Hello and welcome. I am AJ with the OTRS Help Desk team. My team members are Jeffrey Arnold and Duran Johnson. First, let's start with some definitions. The 5 Help Desk agents are the first line of support and contact with the IMP in regards to a city employee's technology needs. The responsibilities form the cornerstone of customer communication. Every request made to the help desk by any means of communication is captured as a ticket in OTRS, our ticketing system. While the help desk tries to assist and resolve every ticket that they get, more complex tickets are escalated by the help desk to the variety of technical teams designated to work on each type of ticket. The result of the Six Sigma defined phase was the project charter, specifically that tickets in the non-help desk queues take about 18 days to resolve on average, and help desk about 2 days. The goal of the project is cut those times down to 10 days for non-help desk tickets and for 1 day for help desk to successfully resolve a ticket. This will be evaluated 3 months after recommendations have fully been implemented. As a result of the Six Sigma analysis, 4 major takeaways were found that begin to identify the root cause of our issues related to ticket resolution. The communication between teams, such as help desk and client service teams, as well as systems administrators and tertiary teams like network and email, could use improvement. Ticket assignment workflows have no intelligence or automation, instead relying on subject matter experts and manual operations. Manual operations made worse and more complicated when each agent has their own ideas or practices and no policies or procedures have been set down to dictate flows of operations. And without feedback directly from the people who are serviced, impressions are made by those who complain loudest, which is rarely indicative of real value of the work that is being performed. In order to solve these problems, we need to have the right tools available to the responsible parties. By automating ticket assignments, tickets no longer have to sit in queues and get stale. They get directly assigned to those who can do something about it. Documenting policies creates a standard to which all agents must conform. Inputting valid and complete information at each stage of a ticket lifecycle guarantees that all who are involved have the greatest insight possible to aid in resolution. From a management perspective, while closing tickets is the primary goal, the underlying driver of that specific number in the timeline relates to customer satisfaction. Management dashboards have been created that allow for, at a glance, filterable visualization of the state of the ticketing system. Underlying many aspects of these processes, including notifying managers of aging tickets, notifying agents of newly assigned tickets, and making the whole thing that much more usable, is the ongoing upgrade to OTRS 5. The new version bakes in a lot of tools that were crudely implemented by hand previously and introduce others that help solve some of our extant problems. The effort to increase team communications has taken a decidedly low-tech approach, a meeting. But instead of a meeting that is just another calendar notification, this meeting is designed to be efficient. Led by a Scrum Master, the meeting is limited to 15 minutes of duration. Each team involved has a representative that answers 3 questions. The goal is to make it transparent what each team did, what they will do, and what is potentially stopping them from achieving that goal. Everyone is welcome to comment during the impediment phase. It may not be that a ticket needs to roll uphill, but rather someone may have a different perspective from another team that will help improve or help resolve the ticket faster. When we talk about streamlining ticket assignment and workflow, I think it's helpful to look at the process map that was generated at the beginning of this project. Without going into the nitty-gritty of what each box is, we can see that red elements in the process are points at which no value is added to the customer. These are idle times or points at which no progress is made towards the resolution of a ticket. Here we see the new process map. Again, keeping it simple, the yellow elements are necessary, but don't add value to the user. This includes actions like assigning a ticket to an agent who's going to do work, or to a manager. Blue areas are where we see value-added steps, mostly in the form of communication, and prevent tickets from falling between the cracks. A cornerstone element to being able to guarantee consistency, no matter what agent or team is assigned to resolve your issue, is having standardized policies and procedures. They provide a living document that can be modified and grown with new technologies and issues, but are intended to be concrete and enduring as well. They will define workflows for how tickets are moved around, as well as how a help desk agent will answer the phone and prompt for details about an issue. These policies include details such as escalation and notification timelines as defined by queue managers. To get an accurate feel for what customers are feeling in regards to their satisfaction during ticket resolution, a survey was instituted. All users who close a ticket in the given queues receive a survey no more than once every 2 weeks. They are asked several questions, such as how long the request took to resolve and how satisfied they were with that. There is also a space where they can leave a free-form comment on both communication and ticket resolution. The results of the survey are privy to the managers of the specific ticket queues. We have not yet received industry-valid sample sizes for all the queues. Help desk and some of the other technical teams are valid, and the other ones are promising. When viewed as queues, the majority of the responses score near a 4, satisfied. This is sorted here by department today, given the audience present. To be clear, the response rate indicated is the percentage of responses of the surveys by the customers. Please encourage your staff to respond honestly. Every bit helps. As we see, our response rate goal is only met by a few queues, and we see finance and the mayor's office lag behind. And if you could encourage your staff every time they get a survey to fill it out honestly, we'd appreciate it. Ticket volume overall, as well as tickets that are aging and need attention, are no longer hidden as items in a boring report. They are now colorful, visually stimulating dashboard that stands out and is easily interpretable. Pairing that with the survey results gives a full insight into the performance of agents. If a ticket is closed quickly, but a customer is unhappy, that's not a good thing. Likewise, if a ticket takes longer than the standard, but satisfies the user, this needs to be taken into account. The value of upgrading to OTRS 5 mainly comes down to one important fact. Agents need to want to use the system. If it is felt to be cumbersome or non-intuitive, this will discourage agents, leading back to where we were today, with insufficient data entry and incomplete process completion. OTRS 5 features responsive design, so agents will be able to use the system on mobile devices, useful while out and about. Managers will also have the ability to manage their queues while mobile. Automated workflows are a feature that will underpin groups such as the equipment team and their efforts to modernize and revolutionize how products are ordered and delivered to users. OTRS 5 also features smarter processing altogether, including better search and data ingestion. Who wins? Agents and managers, clearly, but ultimately the customers, the users throughout the city who get better service. In summary, This Six Sigma process has been very beneficial in providing tools to review current practices and develop a roadmap to increase agent performance. Through the use of innovative technologies and strategies, we've simultaneously increased transparency and insight to help increase customer satisfaction and engagement. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon and welcome to the Hardware Acquisition Optimization Project. The project team consists of Deb Christian, Tara Matthews, and myself, Scott McGrath.
What is hardware procurement? The IMP, administrative and client support teams work to purchase and install the computer equipment that all of the departments for the city use. We determined it was best to categorize them into two different types of hardware. One is the installation required hardware, such as a printer or a desktop PC that requires technical assistance. The other type is non-install required hardware that someone can pick up at the front desk and plug it in themselves.
What is the problem? The problem is that the hardware takes too long to acquire. The non-installed required is an average of 10.5 calendar days, and the installation required is an average of 72.5 calendar days. And this is just way too cumbersome and inefficient. And what else is takes 72 days? Can you guess? Nellie Bly's journey around the world in 1890.
What does this look like? The ticket life begins with the client's request and ends when the hardware is on their desk working properly. We investigated the process from end to end, which revealed unexpected complexities. These complexities were then prioritized into three different categories. Short term is a quick fix, which we addressed during this project. The long term are items that we will address with the OTRS 5 software update. The future projects would address additional things that come up. How are we addressing the problems in the short term? One thing that we did was come up with a standard short list of standardized hardware that is available, will be available on the portal with an order form. This is a look at the order form so far. Also, we have a standard operating procedure which has been approved, and we also have client surveys that are sent via email when the ticket is closed for their purchase.
Our hardware goal is to reduce the average life of the ticket by 30% within 12 months after implementation, and the installation required hardware from an average of 72.5 calendar days down to 50 calendar days, and also for the non-installation required hardware from 10.5 calendar days down to 7 calendar days.
The next steps. This project exposed the true depth of the problems that procurement faced and provided a framework for future projects to attack the issues. One thing that we encountered from the very beginning of the project was we did not have any electronic data available to help us determine the various steps in each process. So this data was collected manually. It took many days to do this. So in the long term, we plan to implement enhanced data collection and performance metrics, which will be with the OTRS 5 update, and this will help collect more efficient data for the hardware installation process to move more smoothly, and will also generate automated order updates, which are emails sent to the clients at key points during the ticket, such as when the purchase order is sent to the vendor and when their merchandise is received. It will let the customer know what is happening with their order, that their ticket hasn't been forgotten. So overall, this pilot project was great. We learned a lot of lessons, and these lessons will be passed on to the next project.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are the Department of Parks and Recreation, and our project was Recreation Activity Management and Monitoring. So my name is Megan Floor. We have Alexis Barone-Cates, Luann Haran, Matt Del Rasso, Dwayne Ashley, and then Jen Yvonne, our Recreation Manager, is also on our team, but she is out representing the City of Pittsburgh at the Pennsylvania Recreation and Parks Society Conference today. So our problem is that data recorded in RecPro was not standardized, and it was creating inaccurate information regarding our center's programs and their utilization. Additionally, RecPro, which I'll go into more in depth on the next slide, is limited in its capabilities in its current state. These combined problems impacted our ability to measure program and participation validity, develop and market our programs in the communities, and create recreation program budgets. A little bit of overview on RecPro. It's a recreation software that is not only used by city parks, but also by the Department of Public Works. For city parks, we use it for activity registration, facility reservations, and our city parks memberships, what are the little cards that you kind of see on the screen there. Public Works uses it for online registration and facility permitting that includes shelters, pavilions, and ball fields. And they also are able to take credit card payments as well. So our goal for this project was that any recreation staff member would be able to see and report on every center's programming through RecPro. In 2015, only 14% of our offered programs were recorded in our recreation software. Our goal was that by April of 2016, 100% of our programs would be recorded in RecPro and would be visible by all recreation center staff. Our approach, first and foremost, was that we retrained all of our recreation staff on how to properly use RecPro. This included how to enter a program or a roster into the software, how to print a receipt, where you get the waiver from, and how to process that as well. We also reiterated the importance and the benefits of entering programs into the system, collecting that data, and then how we plan to utilize that data in the future. We created program templates, guidelines, and instructions, as well as developed a standard operating procedure for staff to follow, all about creating recreation programs and how to record those programs. We then followed it up during our control phase by ensuring that all of our staff were entering the programs into RecPro and were doing so correctly. So some of our long-term goals. At this point, during our project, we are on track to meet our goal of 100% of programs recorded into RecPro by all of our facilities. However, throughout this entire project, we've really come to realize how much we have outgrown RecPro as a whole. I talked a little bit about how the system, it really kind of constrains us, and that not only ranges from the user's perspective, and that we are unable to send out emails to our participants to let them know what programs are coming up, but also, if there's a change of schedule with one of the programs as well. But it also is on the back end with our staff, and that we can't even make, assigning a facility to a program a required field. And this is something that we've kind of gone back and forth with RecPro, and they are just unable to meet our needs. Ideally, in the long run, we are looking for a unified system that not only works for the city's departments, but also for our communities. We're all about serving our residents, and if we're not serving our residents, we're not doing our jobs. Ideally, we need something that is that has a user-friendly online interface. We want our users to be able to register for programs online, view upcoming schedules, send us an email if they have questions, but then also on our end, be able to look at program demographics, their popularity, individual and family profiles, attendance, issue targeted marketing. You know, if we have a soccer program, I don't want to be sending it to the, you know, the young adults that are coming to use the gym, but rather the parents that are signing up their 6 and 7 and 8-year-old children. And we also would be able to develop budgets and then realize our full center's utilization potential. All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you guys. So you can see these projects are pretty wonky, but they have true improvements in terms of how we work in the city and how it affects our residents. All this could not have happened without the management of Gwen and Laura, so let's give a round of applause for them. And our consultant Denny's there as well. But also executive leadership is really important. It was really great to have, you know, Director Griffin and Director Gable at the meetings working with the team. So I want you to give a round of applause to them as well. The projects wouldn't have happened because they had to set aside time for you in order to do this work. They needed to provide the resources and the oversight and give that feedback, and it was a true testament to their leadership. But you know, all of this obviously is reflective of the mayor and Mayor William Peduto in terms of driving this. So with that, I would like to close it with Mayor.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Chief, thank you for bringing Lean Six Sigma to city government. That's a rather remarkable statement. I don't think I would have ever thought a mayor of the city of Pittsburgh would have said that sentence, so thank you. You know, it's that vision that you have and the way that you understand how a department's actually a team. And if you work together, you're able to do great things, and then bringing it through other departments to be able to solve the problems from the people who have to deal with them daily. I mean, everyone in this room is equipped with the answers. There's a lot of people in this city and a lot of people throughout this country who will point out what the problems are. There's a problem, but there's very few people who say, there's a problem and here's how you solve it. And internally, we can solve a lot of the problems that will be able to provide services more effectively, more efficiently, and more equitably to the people of the city of Pittsburgh. And we can do it internally once we start to work together as teams. That same model is what we need to do in our communities and our neighborhoods to start tackling some of the prolonged problems that hold us back. And we'll be able to do that as well. You know, I took office some years ago. We decided to have those transition teams where like 900 people signed up and said, I want to be a part of the solution. And one of the underlying themes we kept hearing was city government's not efficient, it's not effective, or it doesn't care about my neighborhood. What you're doing is you're putting together those types of solutions to be able to not only hit all three of those, but to be able to create a city government that's user-friendly. Quite simply, listening to the customer and providing it better to them on an individual basis. I want to thank Lee Halverson, who's here, who left for the greener fields of the foundation community. And do you have, I guess Ivy Towers only exist at universities? No, Ivy? Okay. But because of the foundation community and because of the commitment of Heinz Endowments, we're able to do this type of programming. There would be people who would criticize it and say, why are you spending city tax dollars on this? We don't have to face that criticism, but you know what? We should be spending city tax dollars on this because there's a lot of things that need changed within city government, and that's not a knock against city workers. That's just a knock that we haven't put any resources behind solving it. So thank you for that commitment too, Lee. And finally, again, I just want to thank the directors that are here for putting your personal commitment into it, for Chief Lamb for spearheading this entire initiative, and to all four groups for the presentation today. The true reward is that your recommendations will be implemented. And it's not to benefit you, it's to benefit the people of Pittsburgh that you serve. So thank you. Oh! And to certify that, certificates of achievement. Dun, 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 dun. For the completion of the Six Sigma program. Now hand them, and Director, if you'd like to
Sure.
present.
Alex, why don't you just come up and I'll give it to you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Matthew Jacob.
Good job.
Tyrone Johnson.
I want all these framed on walls.
Alexis is next.
Alexis,
Alexis. So, Deborah.
we need a Six Sigma for how to hand out.
Yes.
Proper.
We'll work on it. Thank you. Dwayne, Ashley. And we'll make this in alphabetical order next time.
No, it's like everyone's on pins and needles, so we're getting the call next.
Luann. Luann Murray.
See you.
Lee. Haller. Ivy. Jeffrey. Marcel. Megan. Scott.
Can't tell people.
Sorry.
Great work.
Thank you.
Scott.
Scott. Matthew.
Thank you.
Tara.
You get in that camera. All right, thanks.
All right.
Sorry.